Oh, I look so camera ready right now. This is great. Oh, I know I got eye boogers and stuff going on. It's time for a video. Bambi is looking out the window like, why did it have to come to this? Another Snowy Joe video? I never asked for this. I just sat on the sidelines. I had to watch it all fall apart, but here I am. Sorry, there's too much light coming in, sir. I'm gonna have to... Folks, we have an update to the Snowy Joe situation from yesterday. If you didn't see my video yesterday, none of this is going to make sense. I would usually say, yeah, it'll still make sense. I'm not going to recap it because the video is very straight to the point and it's long, but I don't really add anything that doesn't need to be said. So we're going to jump into it. I posted the video while I was editing it. The video was down, but Joe put it back up after he used the YouTube editor to take away some of the stuff that he deemed like bad. And he kept up most of it. So it was a little weird, but when I posted the video again, he realized how many people were reporting it. And so he took it down again to make sure that his channel couldn't get reported enough so he wouldn't have it taken down. Bambi, please stop making noise. I'm reporting the news. I'm reporting the news. Shortly after that, and during the whole thing, Joe was actually tweeting about the situation, and let's see what he had to say. Oh, did he take away the old tweets? Okay, he took away the original tweets because he deleted the apology, but this is the original apology. So if you want any idea of how he actually feels about the situation, this is it. Because this happened when people were just getting upset with him, who were the ones being harassed, and before my actual video came out and things got a little more serious for him. So this is his original response to a little bit of anger, which is, so I made a video recently which crossed the line from dark humor and onto bullying. I've taken this into consideration and I've removed certain parts that I think have taken it too far. My bad. But I still won't stop with the dark humor shit. LOL. So that's his take on it. And then he started tweeting about how he like makes fun of his fans and people don't care or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. He didn't really care. Now, I put out the video. Things start getting more serious for him. He takes down his video and doesn't really say anything. And then he comes back the next day with a different tone. Okay? This is the tone. Okay? It is this tweet that says, I'm sorry, period. Much different than the one from before. Here's what he said. Been thinking of a way to address the situation properly because I don't want to seem like I'm defending myself. It seemed like he was defending himself in the tweet before, but hey, maybe he realized his mistakes. Okay. He says, I can't defend myself. I made a mistake. The best thing to do is say sorry to the people I offended in the community, and most of all to the creators in the video. My stupid brain just wanted to make some content for my fan base, but I didn't take into consideration the feelings of the creators I was making fun of in the video. I'm genuinely so sorry to those streamers, and again, anyone I offended while making the video. I have taken the video off YouTube by deleting it completely off the site. This year I told myself I would change my content from being edgy, but for some strange reason, I posted that video knowing full well the circumstances and what I said/done in it. This is my job, and I promise it will not happen again. I am trying to get in contact with the creators in the video to apologize privately and personally. I am really trying to be a better person, and this video is not it. Made a mistake in this video, and I am sorry. Now, let's not forget about the tweet we just saw seconds ago, where he said, I won't stop with the dark humor shit, which completely contradicts the new apology, but people change within 24 hours once they realize that their career is in danger. Let's continue though. He also quote tweets this and says, adding to this, please don't send hate to certain YouTubers and streamers. They've done nothing wrong. This was a fault on my side, obviously, and they shouldn't be targeted for stating facts. Now, obviously, I assume certain YouTubers and streamers includes myself, but as you probably can guess, Snowy Joe's fans do not align with the tone that he's taking on in this apology, but we'll get back to that. Then he puts out a link that says final words. Yep, he did a YouTube apology, so let's watch it. Now, the first thing you might notice is that Joe is posting this video from his second channel. So he removed the video on his main channel and made this apology on his second channel that has 1/10 of the fan base, and so far only has 4,000 views when the original video had probably 10 to 20 times as much.
This is going to be a quick video just to address the situation that's happened over at Twitter.
Then he goes on to say that he wants to address the situation that happened over on Twitter as if, you know, this is a result of the Twitter mob that came after him, so-called.
I've already put a statement out on Instagram and Twitter, so if you don't follow me on there, this is for everyone, including my fans.
He says that this apology is for everyone, not just the people on Twitter and Instagram, because he already put statements out over there. And I guess by everyone, he means just the people who follow his second channel, because he definitely did not shout this out to the 200,000 people who subscribe to his main channel. So this is my take on how apologies are on YouTube. If you're going to apologize, you have to be straightforward about it. You can't fill it with a bunch of extra crap. And you also can't start to defend yourself in the apology. And less than 30 seconds into the video, Joe starts talking about how he grew so fast from this community of edgy humor.
My recent video was awful, to say the least. I made a mistake, and the shit I said in it was not it. There's not really any excuses to why I done it. My channel grew from a niche audience of dark humor and being edgy. That's where I grew.
So he says he grew quickly from a niche audience where he would do dark and edgy humor, which I guess to him is harassing people and being racist and transphobic, which he would agree to that because he said in his apology that the things that the streamers and YouTubers said in their videos were just stating facts, and he said not to harass them or go after them. So he agrees. He agrees with what everyone is saying, which is that he was being transphobic, he was being racist, he was body shaming. That is settled. And we will continue on with the apology, which is that I grew from a niche audience of people very quickly, which isn't that true. When I made my first video about him, it was months and months ago, and he probably had at least 150,000 subs. Actually, let me check right now. He had 178,000 subscribers in October, which was almost 6 months ago. So saying you quickly grew doesn't really make sense when the video you just put out a couple weeks ago or last week is doing shit that you said when you were small, which doesn't really check out. Also, is that to say that as a smaller creator, it's okay to be transphobic and racist? Because I feel like that's what you're saying, is that your niche community made it feel like you were okay to make those videos because you had a smaller audience, but you're not realizing the actual influence you hold now that you're bigger. Well, Joe, either way, even if you had 1,000 subscribers, even if you were doing this to nobody, it's still not okay, because the reason that the video is so bad is because of your direct communication with the streamer. As I said before, the reason I went after reporting the video is because you're not just spreading rhetoric, but you're specifically going after people and you're harming actual lives. The streamers that you went after in your video were actually affected by what you did, and that reflects in their personal lives and how they feel when they're harassed and then bullied in a bigger video. This isn't you just like being transphobic straight to your audience. This is you being transphobic to a trans person. So I don't know why the defense already happens, and your defense is that you were in a smaller community before and you just grew so fast you didn't know how to handle the fame.
So when I do videos like that, you get in the mood, and sometimes you take it too far, and in this case I took it too far of this shit I said in it. I've taken it off of YouTube now. I've deleted the video, but I said to myself this year I was trying to escape from being edgy and doing the dark humor stuff, and for some reason I uploaded this video.
He says that he wanted to escape from being edgy and doing the dark humor stuff, and we can totally tell that's true by the first apology he had, where he said, "My bad, but still won't stop with the dark humor shit." Yeah, that's definitely something someone says when they have been actually working this year to stop with the edgy humor and kind of change their content. That's exactly what you would say, huh?
I've acknowledged what I've done, and I can promise you it will not happen again. I'm sorry to the people that I offended on the video, and I'm sorry to the creators and the streamers.
He says that he's sorry to the people he offended on the video, not the people that he, racially attacked and transphobically attacked as well. You see, the language he uses here might be hard to detect under all of the, sadness and the somber talking he has. But I want to make it very clear that this apology does not fix anything. We'll get back to this, but not only the fact that you put this on your second channel knowing not as many people would see it, you turn off the comments knowing that you wouldn't be able to see all the people who are against you and you wouldn't have to go and delete the comments. The replies to all of your apology tweets are turned off. You don't care. Snowy Joe does not give a shit about what happened here. He just wants it to be over because he knows his career is at risk. And his apology before this was bullshit because he didn't think he was at risk. So he said that, "Oh, sorry, I took bad parts out of the video, but I'm still not going to stop with the edgy humor." So what part of this seems like it's genuine at all? Because to me, I'm not seeing anything except for a lousy attempt to save your career because you know that you don't actually give a shit. And by the way your audience is reacting to it, they know you don't give a shit because they're still going after these people, including myself, knowing full well that you told them not to, but also knowing full well that behind all of this, we know you're laughing with your buddies about how you're probably going to be able to weasel your way out of this and not lose your channel because, you know, you're just going to do the YouTube apology thing and everyone's going to accept it. No one's buying this. No one's buying this bullshit. And I still am not even done. I'm not even close to done. If I seem like I'm harsh now, soon you're going to figure out why.
And I'm sorry to the creators and the streamers that I made fun of essentially in the video.
He says that he is sorry to the streamers that he essentially made fun of in the video. This is a term he uses multiple times, and I don't know why he's saying essentially. Maybe it's because he wasn't just making fun of them. He was attacking them, whether it was transphobically or racially or body shaming them or bullying them.
The only thing I was thinking about was trying to make content for my fan base, and by doing that, I crossed the line.
He says that he was just making content for his fan base, which, if that's what your fan base wants, I am deeply worried for what your career has in store, because they're not going to like when you change up your content. I don't know who's going to be watching your content when it's not transphobic, because it seems like that's what you built your entire base off of. And that's something you admit yourself. You said you were making this content for your niche fan base of people who like dark and edgy humor. Your niche fan base from 6 months ago of 180,000 people.
Without thinking about your feelings by making essentially fun of you publicly.
He says essentially again, he says I was making essentially fun of you publicly. I don't know what essentially making fun of them means. Are you talking about being racist to their face? Are you talking about being transphobic to their face and trying to misgender someone on purpose for a laugh?
I've tried contacting the streamers that I upset in the video, but they aren't replying. So if you're watching this video, just know that I'm genuinely sorry, and please check your Twitter and Instagram DMs because I've tried approaching you. I have learned my lesson from it. I will not do anything like that again. To anyone that's new here coming from Twitter and other YouTubers' videos,
he does take a slight mention of me and saying people that are coming from other streamers or other YouTubers' videos. And so here's his message to you. Let's play it out.
I just hope you realize that you take a look at my channel, especially in the past 2-3 months, and at least acknowledge that I am trying to change as a content creator with my content, and I'm not entirely based on harassing people.
So his request is that you take a look at his channel from the past 2 or 3 months and at least acknowledge, he wants us to at least acknowledge that he's trying to change his content for the better, and that his content is not entirely just based off of harassing people, which is a hilarious sentence to say.
And I'm not entirely based on harassing people.
Well, my content's not entirely based off of, you know, targeting people who are transgender or gay or Asian.
I want to apologise to my fans as well. I know you've supported me, but please don't send any hate to anyone. To put it simply, I went over the top in that video and I am sorry. I've acknowledged that it's bad and I will not do it again, I promise. This year I told myself that I'm going to try and become a better person with my content, because to be honest, the old stuff that I done cringes me out as well. I will not make the same mistake again, I promise you that. But I am sorry.
The video ends in a very odd way, but we need to acknowledge that he says, "What's up, Greg? Oh, who is this guy? What is going on?" We need to acknowledge that he tells his fans specifically, do not go after any of these people. He tells them specifically. So let's see where we're at. But let's back up. He did tell us, make sure you look at my other videos and at least acknowledge that I'm trying to change my content for the better. Now, he says in the past 2 or 3 months, and of course he's doing like these weird OnlyFans videos and whatever, that's fine. But even just a month ago, there's a video about him invading random online lessons and...
Was he being able to log in on Matchwatch?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
This guy supports child abuse. Man said thank you to beating up my son.
Indefinitely.
So, I mean, that was 1 month ago, him harassing someone who's trying to teach an online class. And that was like literally the first clip I went to. And I'm not going to watch any more Snowy Joe videos because I already know what's in store for them. But it's not like anything has changed. Literally 3 months ago, one of his videos was roasting strangers on Fiverr. The next one was I sent insult DMs to 100 celebrities. And the biggest point I want to make in this video is that Joe is acting like this is a one-time thing. Like he made one big mistake and it's never going to happen again. And this is the one time he harassed a bunch of people. But no, his channel is built off of this shit because the first video I made about him was him harassing people at a trans pride parade. I mean, I made a whole main channel video about how he went into a feminist Discord server and literally just harassed people about how there's only two genders and about how feminism is bullshit. And he got people to actually like go into these people's personal lives and continually harass them, not just on Discord, but on Twitter as well. This is not new. And also it's not going to stop. This is for him to brush us off and just throw this all under the rug because apparently this is a one-time thing. But all this shit is still up on his channel and free to look at. Joe isn't new to this whole harassment thing. This isn't like a one video thing. You can report a lot of his videos that do cross TOS. But there is plenty more to talk about because let's move on to Twitter to see what else is unfolded today on the whole apology side of things. We also have to mention that all of Joe's tweets have the replies removed. And if you look at the actual quote tweets, it doesn't really seem like people are, super upset at what he has to say because he already tried to do an apology and we already know what he thinks about it before I made the video. But let's look at his next tweet because he immediately starts defending himself over how he wasn't actually bullying his fan. That kid that he started making fun of and talked about how the kid was licking his arse, well, he actually said that it's just jokes and that he doesn't actually care. The licking my arse timer was effing hilarious. So he basically says, ignore what they're saying, I'm not offended, blah, blah, blah. So there's so many things to say about this. The first one is that immediately defending yourself after putting out a whole apology about how you're not trying to defend yourself isn't a great look. Especially when it's something as minor as my comments about you bullying your fan, but that doesn't really check out. There's a power dynamic here between you and a young child, someone who is apparently 16. I thought he was 12 years old, my apologies. But this child who is a big fan of yours and you going into his DMs and being like, hey, I just want to make sure you didn't actually think I was bullying you in that video, right? Right? Because you're my fan, so you wouldn't actually say that. What did you expect, Joe? Did you expect him to respond and go, no, actually, you really did hurt my feelings, even though I talked about how big of a fan I was of you. I actually am going to turn on you and I think you bullied me. No, Joe, that doesn't check out. This is a child. That still doesn't make it okay because he consented to it. That's not how it works when you're talking about minors online. Just because the kid that you made fun of tells you, someone that he's a big fan of, that he enjoyed the jokes, doesn't mean that it's okay to make the jokes, Joe. Thank you. And immediately, like an hour ago, he made some quote tweet trying to just like pretend nothing happens about all this shit and the I Glad You Came remix. I don't know what that's about. But we have to talk about Snowy Joe's friend that I try to not name because of, I honestly feel bad about making fun of him, but I have to bring it up because it makes sense under this case. Let's talk about how Snowy Joe said multiple times that his fans should not defend him, which I would assume his friends would follow suit and would know that this would really only make it worse for him. But Manter, Snowy Joe's very, very dumb friend that I honestly try to avoid talking about him because I feel like it's on the brink of me like bullying a child. Because I honestly just think I don't want to even, I try not to talk about it. But we have to talk about it because Snowy Joe's best friend is already making things worse for him. You'd expect if Snowy Joe was like, genuine about this apology that he probably would tell his friends to stay out of it. But this is what we're looking at here. Lollipop abuses his power as a creator. That's what Manter calls me. I guess his nickname for me is Lollipop because I think my hair, I don't know. I don't know if that's, okay, that's besides the point. He constantly uses his brainless fans to spam report people who he does not like. This is him threatening to spam report a 16-year-old girl. Now he's doing it again with Joe. So this is apparently a very real message between me and a 16-year-old girl, and I'm gonna read it here. It's very funny. Okay, so this is what the DM with the 16-year-old girl apparently was. It's me saying, people like you need to be put into reality. That's something I say very often. She responds and says, oh really? More like you should be. I respond and say, Okay, if you going to play it that way, I will get my subscribers to report this account. She replies and says, oh wow, so scary, threatening me to get your subscribers on me. Jesus, you need help. I respond and say, yes, that's exactly what I'm doing. If you don't leave me alone, I will report you for harassment. She responds and says, harassment, that's a bit much, don't you think? Bullying, yeah, I understand that, but harassment. I respond and say, you have been very rude to me and I don't think I deserve that. Now this cracks me up because it's obviously, besides the fact that it looks a little bit off, most people have replied about this in my quote tweet, but my name at the top here just says Nick, and my display name has never just been Nick. It's always been Nick is not green. You can see it right down here. I also never start anything I say with a capital letter. I don't have auto caps on. You can look at all my tweets. Yeah, no caps, no caps, no caps, no caps. No cap, maybe is what I should be saying. I don't start anything I say with caps unless it's like very serious. And most of the time I also don't do that. Right here we got one, but it's all caps. Just like this tweet, it's all cap. Right, guys? Also, I don't talk like this. You have been very rude to me and I don't think I deserve that. It's like someone tried to come up with the most criminalizing, is that a word? The worst way to make me look. It came up with this very fake screenshot. And then Snowy Joe's best friend is promoting it to a bunch of people to make me look bad. So the guy who said no one should be defending him, his best friend's defending them. So what message do you think that sends to their viewers? And then Manter directly after retweets the video of Joe saying his final words. And then finally he said, Lollipop, I missed you. I was devastated when you deleted your... He just gets off to me like talking about him because his channel is really not doing great. And he immediately is just getting destroyed in the comments. Loser posted 3 videos and can't even get half your own subs to watch it. His channel really is like all about me. It's really sad. And I try to avoid talking about him. The only time I really am talking about him is because his best friend is in this situation. But I want to point out that even Snowy Joe's best friends know that he doesn't give a shit about this situation. He's just trying to get out of it and they're still going to defend themselves. If you look in the replies of any of my tweets, you have plenty of people who are still going after me after Snowy Joe said, don't go after any of these people. They know that he doesn't care. I have people who are inside of their own Discord server sending me screenshots of his fans saying that he doesn't deserve any of this and that he didn't do anything wrong. You have people replying to this and saying, this man is just abusing his power and thinking he's this big celebrity / YouTuber. If I was in his shoes with this much power, I wouldn't abuse it. Nick just goes on and on. It makes me cringe, not gonna lie. Tired of bullies using their large platform to manipulate stories. So someone replies and says, abusing power, he is pointing out abuse and telling others to report it. And then Manta replies and says, dumbass, you're missing the point completely. How has him threatening kids in Twitter DMs gone completely over your head? So he really thinks it's real or he made it up and is doubling down that it's real? But it seems like a lot of their fans have gone with the agenda that I like manipulate my fans and I'm some like puppet master that forces everyone to like go after and report someone. I've never tried to mass report a creator before this. And the reason I do it is because there are directly people who are being hurt as a result of this. Now I got the streamer's permission to do this, but Bay, the trans streamer who Joe made a very big attempt at transphobically attacking and constantly trying to misgender her. She actually talked about the situation after my video came out and said, just to be clear, I'm aware about the creator transphobically attacking me. I remember the night he came to my stream to throw slurs at me, which obviously he didn't include in the video because, you know, it'd make him look worse. And you can look at this thread right here, and I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but you can see how this shit affects people. This is very real life stuff. It's not just Joe going in and making some jokes and doing some edgy humor shit. He's actually affecting lives and he's making people feel worse about their own lives because of his actions. This isn't something where he's like throwing jokes, some edgy jokes about something and people can say, oh, it's just jokes. How come you can't realize that we're just making jokes? Why do you have to take everything so seriously? Because these are real lives we're talking about. These are people who are directly receiving attacks and continually receiving hate and harassment from Joe's fans, even today after he told them not to. And I would love to say, well, Joe did his due diligence and he told them not to attack anyone anymore. So the blood is off his hands and this is now in the fault of his fans. But no, they wouldn't have been attacking these people and they wouldn't continue to attack these people if they didn't know that Joe actually didn't give a shit about this. And this is what he wants. He wants to wipe the blood off of his hands, but continue to do the shit that he's been doing for a long time. And it's never going to stop until his channel is down and he doesn't have a platform. I'm sick of this whole notion that it is bad for a creator like myself to go after someone who is directly transphobically attacking people and call for them to be reported. Why is it taboo that we need to not go after people's careers and go after people the way people make their money? Because if the way someone makes their money is by actually hurting someone who has been experiencing this shit for a long time, then yeah, I'm going to go after them and I'm going to hope that their career is done. I'm going to hope they can't make money off this shit anymore. And I'm not going to stop either. The fear that Joe feels when he makes these apology videos, and we know that he's scared of losing his career, and the fear that he feels about his community falling apart right in front of his eyes, that is just a fraction of the feelings that trans creators, that Asian creators, creators in the queer community, people who are being body shamed, that is just a fraction of what they feel when Joe does the shit that he does to them. I do not feel one tiny little ounce of sympathy for this guy. And I genuinely could care less if his career goes down the drain, because that means that there are less people out there feeling like they can't be safe online. The moment that your content causes another creator to feel like they don't feel safe, to feel like they're in harm's way, and to feel like they can't even put their face online without someone harassing them over whether or not they're actually a man, I could not give less of a shit. And I hope that your channel burns down, and I will never look back, and I will never feel sorry for it. And if you disagree with that and you think that we're better off having creators like him online attacking trans creators and making them feel unsafe, I genuinely could not care less whether or not you watch my channel. I could not care less whether or not you support me, and I could not care less whether or not you want to keep creating obviously fake DMs to try to make me look bad, because you can't. Because how are you going to get mad at me for defending trans creators? It's pretty hard. It's pretty easy to be me right now, because all I have to do is say, hey, maybe it's bad to do these things. And yeah, I think it's pretty hard to fight that. It is pretty bad to attack trans creators. Joe apologized. I don't know what more you want him to do. His content isn't even aimed for people like you. Move on. Yeah, sorry, I am not transphobic, and I'm not racist either, so I guess you're right. His content isn't aimed towards me, and I should just move on, because, you know, once you apologize, that's really all you can do, right? No, you know what I want him to do? I want him to take down his channel. I want him to stop making videos. I don't want him to be online anymore. The only way I think any of this is okay is if he's off the internet. And at the very least, he deletes all his videos and starts fresh as someone who isn't a piece of shit. You can tell as many trans people that his content isn't aimed for people like them, but it's aimed at people like them. It is aimed to take down, destroy, and hurt people like them. And you can't just hide it behind edgy humor, because it doesn't work at this point. When I start seeing stories from the actual streamers in the videos saying that their lives are affected by this, their mental health is affected by this, and that they're hurt by this, none of this really can be passed off as jokes anymore. Yep, here's a direct screenshot right here of a Snowy Joe fan with 0 followers making a transphobic attack on another creator, and a very aggressive one at that. These are his fans, faceless people who want to go after trans creators because they hate anything that they cannot understand, that their tiny little brains can't wrap their heads around because they're too sad to take the time to think about another person in their lives. Targeted harassment's okay when we don't like them, right guys? That's the idea. The idea is that I just don't like Snowy Joe. That's why this is apparently targeted harassment, because I just don't like Snowy Joe. Maybe ask yourself a question. Why don't I like Snowy Joe? In the wake of what Snowy Joe probably considers as the most apologetic he could be in this situation, he still looks like a piece of garbage, because the friends and the fans that surround him, he built. And he is a piece of garbage. So that's what they're going to continue to be. And if you want to say that I'm like manipulating my fans, I don't know how to freaking manipulate people. I'm talking in my apartment right now. You think I know how to manipulate people? I just talk about what I think and what I believe in. And sometimes that doesn't even land with people. So I don't understand why this is suddenly me like doing this manipulation to make my fans happy. But obviously I don't have to address that because it's obvious that I don't do jack shit. Okay, I think that's everything. I don't think I have anything more to say. This will probably be the last time I talk about, actually, I don't know. Maybe it won't be. Maybe I'll come back. But just know that you can still go through Snowy Joe's channel and still report shit, because you know this stuff is going to come right back and it's going to keep happening. None of this is over. They're going to keep coming back harder. And, you know, I don't know. Follow me on Twitter if you want the updates, but who knows where it's going to go from here. I didn't even think I was going to make this video, but here we are. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.